If you're looking for crowd-pleasing appetizers that are guaranteed to disappear fast, this is the video for you. Whether you're hosting a game day, a holiday party, or you just need a snack that's amazing, I've got you covered. Stick around, these are so good. They're actually so good, you might even just skip dinner. We are gonna make a hot honey dip. It is so good. Cream cheese based, delicious. I have 4 ounces of softened cream cheese here. You can feel free to double this if you have more people coming over. There's only 4 of us and we just don't need a ton of that. I'm gonna add some mayo. So let's do about a 1/4 cup. Okay, that's good. And we'll mix this together. Now, if you already have something like, is it Mike's that makes the hot honey? I think Nate's has a hot honey too, I believe. If you don't have hot honey, I'm gonna show you what you can do real quick. This is so simple. Take about, let's do a 1/2 tablespoon-ish of honey, maybe closer to a tablespoon, but it's totally fine. You're gonna add some crushed red pepper flakes, some cayenne red pepper, something like that, okay? However much you think you can handle. So I'm going with probably a 1/4, let's do a little more, 1/4 teaspoon or so of that, just based on the amount that we're having, and then a touch of apple cider vinegar. And there you go. You've got your hot honey. It's literally that easy. Okay, incorporate all of that together, mix it up. So if you don't have hot honey, you can still do this. You can make your own. I was gonna make this because I don't love the fact that there's sunflower oil in this. However, when I went to go look up the recipe for it, there's a lot of different stuff in it. And I personally was gonna have to buy probably $20 in spices because I don't keep things like dehydrated onion, dehydrated garlic, dehydrated chili pepper, all that kind of stuff. So I was gonna have to buy all this. So it's such a small amount that I'm using in this recipe, and in another recipe that I'm gonna be making, I just went ahead and bought this jar because it was $4.99 for the jar. So I'm adding, got that on the counter. So I'm adding about a 1/2 tablespoon of this into here. And I might, let's keep some back because I think when I serve, I might put some around the edge and it'll look really pretty. Okay, mix that together. I'm gonna add some cheddar cheese. Okay, let's do maybe a 1/4 cup or so. I mean, that's, just finish it off. Okay, mix all that together. Okay, I'm gonna use the kitchen herb scissors to add that in. Stir that together and see what it looks like. Oh yeah, this looks good. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of lime juice. If you have not tried honey and lime together, so good. We make these enchiladas that are honey lime enchiladas, y'all. If you have not made those, you are missing out because it is delicious. I'm gonna transfer this to a smaller bowl just because of the amount that we made. Now to top this, let's do a little more green onion. I'm gonna take this fork and I'm gonna attempt kind of like a drizzle. Oh yeah, there we go, that's what I want, of the chili oil. This is gonna be good. Okay, you can also add salt and pepper. I don't know that it's gonna need it. This is supposed to chill in the refrigerator. I'm gonna let it chill for about 30 minutes. And in the meantime, we have nothing to dip in this. So I need to go get some stuff. Okay, I decided not to go and get chips or anything because we have these butter crackers that we keep in the pantry. I forgot about those.
What was this, like what would be the preferred?
I think like French bread, a toasty French bread, maybe a pita chip.
Yeah.
Could be good, bagel chips, something like that would be really good.
Those ones that we like.
Triscuits?
Triscuits.
Triscuits could be good with this too, yeah.
Because they're like a tougher.
Yeah. All right, so I will say that chili crunch it's got a kick to it, but this is a hot honey dip. So, I mean, it's hot for a reason, right? So you're gonna get a little bit of a kick with it, but that chili crunch on the top, it really does add a kick.
You fill it a few chews into your bite, but it's good.
I really like this one because you have, it touches on every single flavor.
Yeah.
You've got the sweetness from the honey. There's that creaminess from the cream cheese and the mayo. There's that hint of lime, which gives you like this citrusy kind of flavor. You've got the heat from the chili crunch and from the cayenne pepper that we added.
Oh, that's it.
But I mean,
Yeah, that's good.
it's every single flavor. It's very unique, but it's really good. I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think you could add a little bit more lime. This one has been chilling in the fridge for a couple hours now. My suggestion would be to take it out of the fridge. It's supposed to be a cold dip, but I wouldn't serve it straight out of the fridge.
More room temperature.
Yeah, it needs a few minutes to come back to room temperature. Otherwise, I mean, obviously these are pretty soft crackers, but almost any cracker that you put in there, it's gonna break it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good dip.
Yeah, it is good.
That chili crunch. Oh man, I keep breaking it.
See?
But that chili crunch is really good. I can see us keeping that around for a lot of different things.
Yeah, that does taste good.
Before we make this next appetizer, I'm gonna make myself a glass of Sun Goddess matcha. This is by the brand Peak. This is for radiant skin and energy. And they come in these really convenient little packets, which is so perfect because there's no measuring. It's already done for you. I'm sure that people are like me, that during the winter, your skin has a tendency to be more dull, uneven, a lot more dry. This right here helps with all of that. It's got powerful antioxidants that help to firm, brighten, and clarify your skin. It also promotes gut health, which is awesome because we all know that's all connected. If we take care of our gut, often we're taking care of our skin. I do love my afternoon coffee, but with this right here, it provides that sustained energy without the crash that can come a little bit later after having coffee. So all you have to do is mix it in some water, and then if you are a matcha fan, you're gonna love this. I've also got several other products from them that I love. They have tons of different tea options. There's one that I've been using at night that helps with calming and digestion, and I really love that one. Quick tip, you can mix with water like so, or like I've been doing when I really want a nice indulgent latte, I've actually been shaking it up with some milk and making an afternoon matcha latte, and it is so good. For the perfect skin duo, you can also use the BT Fountain Youthful Skin Deep Hydration. You mix this with water as well. You're gonna get the ultimate benefits of deep hydration with ceramides and hyaluronic acid to reduce fine lines and wrinkles. For a limited time, get up to 20% off of the duo and a free rechargeable frother and glass beaker by using my link that is posted in the description box. It's no secret that we are a fan of whipped feta here. We have used several different recipes of whipped feta. If you haven't made one of these yet, you are missing out, okay? Whipped feta with some honey drizzle, some pistachios on the top, so good. But let's make it winter style. I'm gonna head over to the stovetop because that's where this starts. We are making a smaller version of this recipe. This is just gonna be a little app before we have dinner tonight. So I'm gonna get my heat started over in this pot. I have some orange juice here, and we just really need about a little less than a 1/4 cup for the amount that we're making. Now, if you have an orange and you're able to add some zest, that's even better. I actually was just making a recipe that required some orange zest, so I had this out already. And I've got a little bit more on there that I can zest. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of honey. This honey, it's taking forever to come out of the thing. Okay, that's right around a tablespoon. Now I'm gonna whisk that together and let that honey dissolve. And then bring this up to a boil. So we're gonna turn our heat up just a little bit. It won't take long just because of the amount that's in there. Okay, I've got a couple of sprigs of thyme. Toss those in. And we're gonna add some fresh cranberries. You can use frozen as well, if that's what you prefer. And bring this back to a boil. I'm gonna go down to medium heat because we have a nice boil here. And we are just gonna let this cook for about 7 to 8 minutes. the cranberries will burst and it's gonna become nice and saucy. Now, while those are cooking, I'm gonna go over and prepare the actual feta portion of this appetizer. Now you do want to walk over and stir that occasionally just to make sure it's not going to burn or anything, but we're free to move over here just a bit. I'm going to add about 3 ounces of feta to the food processor, and I feel like this is the easiest way to do it, but if you have a hand mixer, that's completely fine too. I have some room temperature cream cheese. For the amount that we're making, I'm going to add about 3 ounces of cream cheese. Just pop that in. And that is almost to room temperature. It's not cold, but it's not quite at room temperature either. Take a clove of garlic and pop that in there, and then a touch of red pepper flakes. Just a little bit of heat is really good in this. You're gonna put your lid on. Let me get it straight here. And I'm gonna have to add oil. I'm gonna start by pulsing this together. Then we're gonna add some olive oil into this to make it nice and smooth. Overall, probably a tablespoon, but I wanna start with a pulse. You gotta turn it on though. Okay, let me check this over here. Oh, look, see, we've got a nice sauce forming. This is perfect. All those cranberries have burst open. I'm gonna turn my heat all the way down to low just so we don't overdo it here. Add in a touch of oil. About a tablespoon is where we'll start. Maybe even a little less. See how that looks. Now, if you choose a feta that is not in brine, you may need to add a little bit more oil just to puree it down a bit more, but that's the easy fix. Okay, let's take the cranberry sauce off of the heat altogether. Okay, you can see here, everything is burst. It's a nice sauce that we have. And you could pull out the thyme leaf if you want. I'm just gonna set this to the side and let it cool for a few minutes. While the cranberry sauce that we made is cooling, I'm gonna go ahead and put this into a serving bowl. Any type of serving dish or bowl is fine. And I'm gonna have to get my family involved because we have pistachios, which I want to add to this, but they are not shelled and they are not crushed. So I'm gonna get my family to help shell and crush pistachios in the meantime. They'll love it. So this is a whipped feta appetizer with a cranberry topping, pistachio, honey drizzle. We love whipped feta in general.
And I love cranberry stuff.
Oh yeah, he's really gonna. I've already tasted it because I was filming some stuff. Sorry. I mean, I'm gonna taste it again, but I get the question a lot. What if I don't like feta? What can I use instead? Goat cheese is a great substitution for feta. Also, if you can find a mild boursin, so it's the same type of consistency, but I also want to encourage you that even if you don't like feta, once you mix it with cream cheese, you don't really get that feta flavor anymore.
It's there faintly.
Yeah, I would still encourage you to maybe try it and even cut down on the feta a little bit.
What was the first replacement you said?
Goat cheese.
Yeah.
But then I get the question, what if I don't like goat cheese?
Yeah, I mean, some may just not be for you. But boursin is
an option for sure.
It is, but it's like
really savory.
It's like feta on steroids.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it just doubles down on that savoriness of feta.
So anyway, there are options if you don't like feta, but I would still encourage you to maybe try it. If you mix it with cream cheese, it might not be quite as potent, and then maybe you actually like feta cheese. There's honey drizzle on the top, which cuts down a little bit of the tartness of the cranberry, and then the pistachios.
That's delicious.
It is really good.
So good.
So let me tell you,
Oh, man.
since I tasted this a few minutes ago when I was doing some filming, the cranberries were a little too tart for me. So I added some more honey drizzle. Now it's perfect. So if you taste it and you're like, woo, those
You could
cranberries.
do that to back it off.
Yep,
Yeah.
just drizzle a little bit more honey and then you're good to go. I love this one because it looks very Christmassy. It looks very wintry. So it's a great option for right now in the season that we're in. So yeah, it's really good.
It's delicious.
And so easy to make, guys. So easy to make. We are going to make a pizza dip and you can use exact ingredients on this, but honestly, pizza dip is fridge clean out day dip, okay? There are so many different ways, so many different things you can add to this. You don't have to have exact ingredients. So if you want, start with 8 ounces of cream cheese. I'm gonna be adding in a couple different things instead of just 8 ounces of cream cheese because like I said, empty out the fridge day. Okay, so we've probably got 4-ish ounces. Let's go 5 ounces of cream cheese. I've also got some ricotta cheese that I'm gonna use. And honestly, the reason we need to use it is because it expires in a couple days. So let's just go ahead and put some of that in there too. Maybe about ounce or so. And then we've got cottage cheese. All good cheeses. Add that in. Let's do about 1 ounce. Overall, we need about 8 ounces of product, cheese product. I'm gonna add some mozzarella cheese. I picked up this bag because it was on sale at the grocery store the other day. We need about 2 cups. Actually, let's just finish this off. So we'll add that in. I've got more if I need more, and I think we will. Sour cream. And normally, you guys know I don't have sour cream because we use Greek yogurt in place of sour cream, but that's part of the reason why this is perfect. I bought this sour cream the other day for a different recipe, and I'm just gonna finish it off because we'll use Greek yogurt like we normally do without the sour cream. Now, sour cream actually is an ingredient in this though, but you can use Greek yogurt instead. We've done that before. So let me just make sure the beginning of this was not confusing at all. I added all of those other cheeses because we had them in the fridge. If you don't have those, go 8 ounces cream cheese, about 2 cups of mozzarella, and still a 1/2 cup of sour cream. All the other cheeses, the cottage cheese, the ricotta cheese, all of that I added because they were gonna go bad soon, so we just needed to use them up. Now, I personally like to add in some onion powder and some garlic powder to ours. You don't have to do this. It's not really a part of most of the original recipes that I found, but I think it adds another element of flavor, so I think it's good. About a 1/2 teaspoon to a teaspoon of each, just depending on what you like, the flavors that you enjoy, really. Let's add in some dried basil. You could also add fresh basil. I have some in my garden and I debated it, but we're making a pretty quick version here, so we're just gonna use our dried basil. About a 1/2 teaspoon. I have a light that's flickering, which means it's probably gonna go out soon. We've got some oregano, also about a 1/2 teaspoon. Let me open this one up. It doesn't pour quite as well as the other. And a little bit of red pepper flakes. So it's a touch of heat, a touch, okay? Very, very small amount, like an 1/8 teaspoon almost. And some salt, pinch of salt. You can also add pepper. All right, let's go to our food processor. You can use a blender, like a hand mixer, if that's what you want. You could also use your KitchenAid or your stand mixer. It doesn't matter. It's either way, it's completely fine. That's the wrong side. The light, can y'all see that? Okay, I'm gonna need to unscrew that light. All right, let's get this blended up so we have a nice mixture. Let's check this out and see what it looks like. We've got a nice creamy consistency there, which is what we're looking for. Okay, now whenever I do this, I use a pie dish because the first time I had this, it was made in a pie dish. So that's just usually what I use, but feel free to use whatever you have, whatever kind of thing can go in the oven. Okay, so all into the dish here. Okay, trying to get all of it out because this stuff is like the gold right here. Just spread that all over the bottom of the dish. Now, last night, I actually opened up a can of tomato sauce, and you guys know it's still blinking. You guys know that I typically make my own pizza sauce, so this is perfect because, again, cleaning out the fridge. All right, set that to the side for a second. Stop. hold on. I've got the leftover tomato sauce. Again, I like to add the same or similar flavors. So this is just plain, it's straight out of the can. So add some basil, add some oregano, all the same flavors that we just used. Add some garlic powder. I typically like to add a little touch of Worcestershire. I don't know, just gives it a little bite, kind of. Okay, a little bit of onion powder. When I say a little bit, I mean like half teaspoon to a teaspoon-ish. Add a touch of salt or a pinch. I'm gonna leave the red pepper flakes out. Now, the controversial part, you guys have heard me say this here before, is I add a touch of sugar. So just a tiny amount, half teaspoon. And then my daughter is grabbing the Worcestershire for me. Okay, just a little glug or two. Now you also should preheat your oven to 375 degrees. I've got another thing that's gonna go in at the same time as this, so I'm not in a rush to preheat my oven. I'd like actually both of them to cook at the same time. You need about a cup of this sauce. This is approximately that. So just all over the top here. Kind of spread it, but I also don't want the layers to mix, so I'm gonna be intentionally careful here. Okay, I think it looks pretty. If you don't take the sauce all the way to the edge, because then you kind of get to see the layers. I think it might boil over, honestly, in the oven, but we'll see. Mini pepperonis is honestly ideal, but guess what? We're cleaning out the fridge and we got the regular size already in there. So we're just gonna chop some up into little pieces. Super rough chop here. This one is turkey pepperoni, if you're curious, but you can use whatever you want. Sprinkle over the top. Ideally, you would have a few pieces of bacon that you could add to this because it is really good with bacon. We've got one piece left from our batch that we made this week, and why not? Cleaning out the fridge. Let's go ahead and add it. We can all fight over the bacon bites. I guess if you had bacon bits or, you know, those, I've seen it in the store before, I've never purchased it, but it says real bacon pieces. I don't know, you could probably add that instead. Okay, just kind of sprinkle around. I think ideally you'd probably want 3 to 4 pieces of bacon, but we're bacon lovers, so. I am going to add this Italian cheese blend. It's a 6 cheese blend. Again, cheese was on sale at my grocery store, which is why I purchased it like this. This is skim, provolone, Asiago, Parmesan, Romano, and Fontina. I also do have Parmesan, but I think I'm just gonna skip that and just add this for the sake of ease. So you just wanna top it with a little bit of cheese, just for nice melting purposes. I do not want to cover it completely though. Also, this is still frozen, but it'll be fine because it'll melt before I even put it in the oven. I don't want to top it completely. Now you can have a nice thick cheese layer on the top, but I don't want to cover my toppings. I want to see the toppings through the cheese. Now, what you could do is put the cheese on, then the toppings, and then you would see them, but I just don't want to cover them all the way. Okay, so there we go. All right, so this is gonna bake in the oven 375 degrees. It takes about 20 to 25 minutes. I do like to let it cool for about 5 minutes when it comes out of the oven because it makes dipping better, easier, pretty, you know, and then you're not gonna burn your mouth and never taste anything again as you're eating this. So we'll put this in just a few minutes after I work on the next recipe because they're gonna go in the oven together. Okay, pizza dip that we're
I am ready for this.
having for lunch. It's an appetizer, but we're having it for lunch. Cheese pull. Nice. You have a whole other side of the pan.
I know, but you'd already messed up one part.
Oh my goodness.
This is so good.
It's really good. Because the fact that I didn't use just cream cheese on the bottom, it is a little more loose, I guess I would say, than maybe a pizza dip that you tried before. But again, empty out the fridge. It doesn't matter. You can use whatever you have.
This is one of those dips that if you have it out, it reminds me of those birds of prey.
You can't stop.
That if it's on the counter, the humans act like the birds of prey. They're just kind of circling.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, just taking a
Yeah.
chip and dipping it through.
And then before you know it, you've eaten 3/4.
It's gone. Yeah.
We have something similar to this every New Year's Eve with some friends of ours. We always get together with them on New Year's Eve, and there's 8 of us. It lasts about 4 minutes, and it's gone.
That's because we use French bread. Is that what we use, honey?
Yeah.
I think it's French
normally
bread.
we have French bread.
So if you're me or my best friend, you're getting like a quarter of the dish in each dip.
True. Yeah. So we're dipping with these pita chips that we have today, but normally a great option is French bread or some sort of nice thin bread. Crostini, something like, is that what it's called? Crostini.
I think so.
I think crostini means it has toppings on it, but I might be wrong in that. But yeah, this is a really good option, y'all. And it's so easy. You guys saw it's so easy to put together. And it's one that
That's so good.
several of the apps here that I make on my channel, my kids will eat them because our kids are not picky and they've been exposed to so many different kinds of foods. But I know a lot of kids don't prefer some of the apps maybe that I would make. Any kid will eat this. I mean, it's literally like a pizza. So great option.
In fact, I just handed it to each of our kids off screen
Yeah.
because they're doing this.
Use immediately after opening. Freezing dough not recommended. Well, I froze it. We're gonna make some asparagus pockets. We are gonna put prosciutto in these, and a couple of them I might even do soppressata. I might put some of that in them. Did go ahead and cut the asparagus, so I've cut it here, put it into a shallow bowl. We're gonna drizzle these in a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper. That's it. They don't need much. Also, I just lied to you. This is avocado oil, okay? So not much, just maybe a teaspoon-ish. And I said pepper. I think I'm gonna skip the pepper, and I'm just gonna do a little bit of salt. The best way to coat your asparagus is just like this, okay? Just toss it around like so. I'm trying to keep them all in the same direction. Just for later on, when I end up filling the pockets, they'll all be the same way. It's gonna look really pretty. Now I wanna mix up our mustard. So I just have a little glass bowl here. I've got some stone ground mustard. You can use whole grain mustard if that's what you want. You could use honey mustard if you prefer that too. I like the honey mustard. We're actually gonna make kind of a honey mustard, but I really like that stone ground or the whole grain version. I like to see the mustard seeds. I like the little texture that adds. So about 3 tablespoons of that whole grain mustard. And then we add in the honey. Just about 2 tablespoons here. You can save this out because you're gonna need it for drizzling. Let's just mix that together. Could have used a significantly smaller bowl. I've rolled out my puff pastry. This was one of those that you get in the refrigerated section of your grocery store. I'm gonna cut this into 8 pieces. I did thaw this out a bit. You're really not supposed to freeze it, apparently. I put it in the freezer when I got it because I figured that's what you're supposed to do, but that's just me not reading instructions. Take this mixture and put about 1 to 2 teaspoons in the middle of each one of these squares that we have, rectangle-ish. I'm gonna start with prosciutto, but then once we use up the prosciutto, I'm gonna move to the soppressata. Okay, so I'm taking some prosciutto and just laying it here in the center. So we'll get a couple with prosciutto. I'm gonna be saving the pepperoni for a pepperoni flatbread. Okay, so let's do a couple pieces of this. Now we take that asparagus and about 4 to 5 asparagus per bundle or per square, I guess you can say. Lay them diagonally like that. All right, while I'm doing this, tell me, what are you guys watching? Is there anything good that I should be watching? Let me know. Let me know in the comments because I feel like I can never find anything that's, I mean, it's rare that we find something that we feel like is really, really good, but I wanna know what your thoughts are. If there's something that I've missed. Let's add a little more into some of these that look, what is your deal? Now, the cool thing about this puff pastry is it's already on parchment paper. Why did I not put this on there before? Goodness, I'm gonna have to like reform these. Oh, good, I did it. That was dramatic for no reason. Okay, so now we take the corners of the pockets that we're making here and just fold them over, creating actual pockets, okay? So the asparagus on the inside, and you've got a little pocket here. We love asparagus, and I was really fortunate this week because it was on sale at my grocery store. So whenever asparagus is on sale, I take advantage. I'm gonna make up a quick egg wash. So basically that just means 1 egg and about a tablespoon of water, and we brush it on. That just creates this really beautiful golden color as they cook. Oh my goodness, I forgot to put cheese in them. And I had Havarti. I'm gonna try it. For goodness sakes. Here's what happened. We had a moment. And then we realized we just should shove the cheese into the pockets rather than try and unfold them. So that's what I did, okay? Whisk that egg with just a touch of water. Take your pastry brush and brush the outside of the pockets, okay? This is just gonna add a really beautiful color. Like I said, it adds to this really rich golden brown color as they bake. Love that. The last step is to take some everything but the bagel seasoning and just sprinkle each one. If you don't have this, that's okay. Just sprinkle with a little bit of salt, some pepper, or some sesame seeds or something like that. This is just perfect because you already have all of those ingredients in one. And it just makes them look really pretty to have the different texture and all those flavor, spices, things like that. There's poppy seeds in here. There's actually little onions, so we'll see how much my husband enjoys these. These are gonna bake at 375 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. Then they will be ready to serve. When they come out of the oven, we're gonna drizzle with a little bit of honey. So good. Okay, I'm gonna try one of these. I mean, y'all, these look so good. That is so unique and really good. That Havarti cheese, I'm really glad that I went for it and tried to get the Havarti cheese in there. I love the addition of the honey drizzle on the top. I actually might add a little bit more because the Havarti with the honey is a very good combo. It reminds me of a sandwich that my husband's brother used to make. It was this asparagus sandwich on a deep, dark rye, on a really dark rye bread. Very, very good. But these, y'all, and they're so pretty. So I love the look of these. They look awesome and they taste awesome. Our verse today comes from Matthew 2:4-6. When he'd called together all the people's chief priests and teachers of the law, he asked them where the Messiah was to be born. In Bethlehem in Judea, they replied, for this is what the prophet has written. But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means among the rulers of Judah. For out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you need more inspiration, I've got several others here that you should check out. Amazing recipes, delicious. Everybody's gonna love them. Check out the one that I have listed above and watch that one before you exit YouTube. I hope you're having a great week.